All I got for the role is just the instructions on virtual meetings.
Well, there should be, each email should have two.
I got one. Okay, members present for the last one. I can do that.
That works?
All right. Tony Wrozwarski. It's absent, I believe. John Dennis here. David Byers.
Tom Murtaugh.
Okay, duly noted that Tom Murtaugh is the proxy for Dave Byers. Peter Bunder.
Here.
Ben Murray.
Here.
And he's the proxy for Mike Gibson. Excuse me, Jackson Bogan.
Here.
Shane Spears.
Present.
All right. Cindy Murray.
Here.
Ron Campbell.
Ron Campbell is with us here in the Tippecanoe room.
Okay.
In person.
Kevin Underwood. Okay. Sally Fahey.
I don't count, so you're done.
All right. Doug Pode.
I'm here.
Tim Storsheim.
Yep, I'm here.
Maria.
Is that me?
Yep.
I'm here.
Maureen McNamara.
I'm also here.
Jeremy Grenard. Jeremy. And then Mitch Langford.
Jeremy's out today. He's not on.
Okay. Mitch, are you there? I'm sure he is. He's just having technical difficulties. All righty.
And I think
First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the February 11th, 2021 meeting. You all have that in front of you. Any questions, corrections, or changes? Hearing none. All in favor of the minutes as presented, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
I presume that I was still in favor. Okay, any opposed? Minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is the Tour Road update. That'll be Sarah Beck, project manager. Sarah?
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I've had trouble with Chrome, so I just want to make sure. Okay, so for the Teal Road update, it is contract 31319. It is comprised of 3 major pieces. We've got the lead DES, which is 0800 132. That's the main roadway project from west of Old Romney to west of 30th Street, which is nearly 3 miles. The other major component is the second DES number 1172176. These include signal modernization improvements from 9th, 18th, 22nd, 26th Street, Elston Road, and Old US 231. And then finally, 1500-277, that was an intersection improvement job with new signal at 4th Street and Poland Hill Road. The project primarily provides road rehabilitation work with portions of road patching replacement. Other improvements include new curb and gutter, sidewalk, ADA curb ramp, storm sewer, and drainage improvements as well in various parts of the project area. Modification and upgrades to the traffic signal equipment, pedestrian poles, marking and patterns at various intersections like 22nd Street and roadway sections which are west of 22nd as an example to improve mobility and reduce conflicts. This contract let on September 11th, 2019 and was awarded to the contractor Reith Riley. The project is expected to be substantially complete in September of 2023. Many phases and sections of closure patching and utility relocation phase were authorized and underway shortly after letting. Planned work is scheduled to begin fully starting April of 2022 next year. There are 3 separate 60-day closures scheduled for 4th Street, 9th Street, and 18th Street. All closures are expected to be during the summer months to reduce conflicts with the schools. There is a signed detour as well as a local detour planned in conjunction with all of those closures. There are various and significant utility relocations throughout the project, utilities including City of Lafayette water and sewer. Frontier, Duke Energy, Vectren, Fiber, Comcast, Metronet, Indiana, Data Line, US Signal, and Windstream. Duke Overhead has finished relocating all of their overhead lines. Lafayette Storm Sewer relocation work is also complete. Bone completed their utility work at the railroad recently, as well as Lafayette just submitted their water line relocation work plan to American Structure Point, who is the consultant on this job, end of February, and that was approved through them, but we are seeking for NDOT review, so that's going through the NDOT construction review right now. Jeremy Grenard is showing that Bowen would only take 2 to 4 weeks to complete that water line work and can get back in March to complete the work after the work plan is finished reviewing through construction and NDOT. Frontier is waiting for the funding to get approved by their head engineer and is expected to complete relocations by September 1st of this year. As for the action items upcoming, Structure Point has a utility progress meeting set for April 6th coming up with Reith Riley, all of the utilities, American Structure Point, NDOT Construction, and myself. There we will go over all of the new updates and expectations for the utilities for next April. And then we have also requested that Reith Riley provide a construction schedule to begin outlining the time from principal construction starting next April.
Okay, is that it, Sarah?
Yep, that is it. Thank you.
Any questions for Sarah? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next agenda item. It's resolution T.
I'm sorry, just a second. Sarah, this is Sally Fahey. I think the big concern locally is whether or not there will be construction that will potentially impact the county fair this summer in late July. But it sounds like there really won't be construction until next April. Is that right?
Correct. We are allowing the first 2 years after it let to provide for utility relocations.
Okay, great. Thank you. I just wanted to confirm that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
And Sarah, Tom Murtaugh, County Commissioner, I'm assuming that even the following year, you'll be willing to work around what the demands of the fair throughout the month of July.
Yes, we can work with that. I'll reach out to our to Gannon Carnes, who is the lead on this project and construction, to coordinate with you guys.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? All righty. Thank you, Sarah. Next is resolution T20-2021-03, resolution to amend the fiscal year 2020-2024 transportation improvement program. And I presume that will be Sally.
I'll turn it over to Doug.
Okay, Doug.
Greetings and good afternoon. City Bus has requested an amendment to the current TIP. We see these amendments occur at this time of the year. Generally, what they have done is internally discuss what projects they would like to move forward this year, compared that list to the projects programmed in the TIP, and are making changes to correspond with what they would like to do. They will be changing some information for the operating assistance, specifically reducing the federal dollar amount from $1 million to $770,000. They will be changing the capital assistance projects. 3 projects will be changed and 3 new projects are added. The projects that are being changed include overhauling the bus engines. Additional funds will be added to that project. They are now moving to rebuilding CNG bus engines, and that does cost a little bit more. The next change is to the support vehicle cost. Based on the previous purchase, it was more than what they have anticipated, so they would like to move that funding up. And then the next one is significantly increase the fixed bus replacement project, looking at purchasing 5 40-foot buses and 2 60-foot buses. So that's a big significant increase. The three new projects are rehabilitation of the current facility. As you know, it's been there for a substantially long time, and they would like to do some rehabilitation of some of the infrastructure there, and of course purchased some shop equipment. This is larger than the standard wrenches, air supply tools, and whatnot that the mechanics need, and then purchased replacement departure signage. And then they have one new planning project. That's a feasibility study and engineering services, looking at property at 2800 Duncan Road. The City Bus Board did review this request and approve it on January 27th. The Technical Transportation Committee reviewed it at their February 17th meeting, and Area Plan Commission staff is asking for your approval. Any questions?
Questions for Doug? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
So Ron
moved.
Campbell made that motion here. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties with the room audio, so I'm kind of his mouthpiece, so to speak.
Okay. Do we have a motion on the floor?
Second, Jackson.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Resolution T 2021-03 passes.
Great, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the administrative modifications for the fiscal year of 2020 to 2024 TIP. And
This will be me, Sally.
that's you, Sal.
So this is for information. On February 12th, I approved an administrative modification for NDOT. There are two parts to the request, but they are both related to the project to add travel lanes on I-65. The first part of it just simply breaks that big project into two, one of which will be north of the Wabash River to north of State Road 43. And the second part of the project now is from north of 43 to north of Tippecanoe County Road 725 North. So it's exciting that we're getting under construction for additional 6 lanes of I-65. The second part of the administrative modification was to add additional funds to the preliminary engineering phase. So that now represents a total of $5,871,000 in PE. And that's the extent of the administrative modification.
All righty. Thank you so much, Sally. Next item is coronavirus response and relief supplemental appropriation.
That's also me. I have a bit of good news in that the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act is getting us some additional money through the state. So it's money that we can treat pretty much like our general federal SDP money. It will have the same 20% local match, and we have to have it obligated by September of 2024. There are a few stipulations. One is that it is money that cannot be transferred to transit, so it will have to be used on local projects, but we can use it pretty much like we do any of our other money. And what I think I would recommend is that we pass this on to the Technical Transportation Committee meeting in next week and have them look at which projects in the new TIP are most in need of additional funds, or whether this is enough money to fund another project. However, it's only $462,317 in federal funds, and then of course you'd add another 20% on top of that for the match to create a total. But I think the easiest thing for us to do will be to decide where we would recommend that money be spent, add it into the new tip, and then when we bring the full tip to you in May, it would be included in the tip that you're approving that will start on July 1st. So that would be my recommendation for how to deal with the money and get it programmed.
All righty, does that need to be an actionable item today, Sally, or is that something that we can wait when the money comes in?
I think you can wait until you have a recommendation from the tech committee about where tech committee thinks it should be spent, and then you can act.
All righty, very good. Any questions for Sally? We shall move on. Next is quarterly reports. And first is the quarterly project tracking summary.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of go ahead and hit just some of the highlights. I'm not going to go over everything that's in here. So the first project I'd like to highlight is in Tippecanoe County. The Concord Road at County Road 430 South project has been closed out, so that will not appear in any future quarterly reports. So very exciting milestone there. The next project is the Lindbergh Road project and the River Road at County Road 500 North project. FEMAS has been processed for both of those projects, so great to see both those moving forward. So after that, we have Morehouse Road. So this Morehouse Road project, which was originally planned as one, will have to be split into two projects. That's kind of so that it can align a little better with the TIP funding. The Highway Department is working with NDOT on getting all those details hashed out, specifically DES numbers, years of phasing, all those sorts of technical things. So that is underway. And finally, the final alignments have been set for the McCutcheon Pedestrian Safety Project. So also pretty exciting to see that moving along. Moving on to the city of Lafayette. So for the Park East Boulevard project, FEMAS has been authorized. So that's moving forward. Good to see that. And for the South 9th Street project, project milestones are being reworked. They might move back a little bit to better match the updated TIP. Just kind of want to make sure that we have the funding in the right years for that project. So Lafayette City Engineering is working diligently on that. And then for West Lafayette, I'm actually going to highlight all three of these projects since they all have what I would consider pretty big news. So the Cherry Lane Extension project has been closed out. It will not appear in future quarterly reports, so great to see that. For Sagamore Parkway Trail project, the environmental report should be complete in March. Work has already started on stage 3 design. So we think that this shouldn't impact the project milestones too much. There was a little bit of concern about that, but the consultants were present at our technical committee meeting last month and they addressed that concern. And so hopefully we should be able to make sure that those project milestones don't slip too much and we can get the funding in the right fiscal years. Finally, the Soldiers Home Road Phase 1 project. West Lafayette plans to select a designer in July for that. And at that point, project milestones will be updated. So we should have some better information about that in the coming months. Are there any questions?
All righty.
All right, well, hearing none, I'll turn it back over to you, John.
All right, thanks, Tim. Next is the APC Progress Report. It's the MPO update, and who will be handling that?
That will be me. And as you can see in the packet, we did receive the information from NDOT. We did receive this last Friday morning. If you look at all the obligation information that NDOT provided us, nearly all of it is there. There is one piece missing, and that is the obligation of the Park East Boulevard project for construction. We assumed it missed the timing when they put this report together, so we should see it this month. There is one other additional piece that's highlighted in blue in that when looking at this report, the $169,011 that we traded with NDOT for other federal funds. Their rural program will not be shown because it's handled through a separate process. But if you compare and look at all the balances in the gray area, you will see a lot of zeros. And I suspect next month when we receive the project report update, you will see zero balances for the Park East project as well. So the good news is we are on track, and it looks like we have obligated all of our federal funds for this fiscal year.
All righty. Any questions for Doug? We'll move on to other business. Any other business?
John, we've got some more items under MPO update, and I'll take the next one, which is the work program update. The work program, the new work program, which is the second year of our 2-year program of work, which will begin July 1st. I told you last month that I'd submitted the cost allocation plan and that it had been approved. And on March 5th, I finished the full work program and submitted it to NDOT. They have sent it around for review by Federal Highway and Federal Transit and within NDOT. In an email on the 8th, our planning partners at NDOT indicated that they hope to have any comments back in 2 weeks, in which case, if we do get them in 2 weeks, then I can make those changes instead of having to foist this onto David sort of blindly. And then it will be ready for your adoption at the April meeting. So that's where we stand, and things are on track.
Okay. What else, Sally?
The next thing is the planning certification review, which NDOT will be doing on March 22nd. So staff at this point is in the process of preparing all the documentation that they've asked for. We don't have anything yet about time on the 22nd. We don't have any information yet for having a link, which we could share with you if any of you want to participate with us virtually. But as soon as we have that information, we will pass it on to you.
Very good. How about the draft fiscal year 22 to 26 tip status review?
That'll be Doug.
Doug, I finally got it up on my screen, so thank you for covering my back, Sal.
Well, the good news in terms of developing the new tip is that it is progressing well. Since our last meeting, NDOT required us, or specifically asked us, to have the document completed and submitted by February 15th. We did accomplish that. As a matter of fact, we submitted it to NDOT on February 11th. If you would like to look at the document in the meantime, it is listed or shown on our webpage. And if you'd like a paper copy, we'd more than be glad to give you one. Just please let me know and I'll give you that. Otherwise, since then, last night we had the official public meeting for the document, and we did receive some comments. We did present the process, what the document is about, where our federal funds will be going, what projects will be up and coming in the next 5 years. And something new that we did last night that we have not done previously is that we invited NDOT to give an update on their statewide transportation improvement program. And we were fortunate that several of the central office staff did give that information to us. Looking ahead, we are still and will be for a while in the public comment process. We expect to receive an updated list of NDOT projects soon. I also have heard that we will be receiving very soon the Federal Highway and NDOT comments, and then when we receive those, we'll respond and make changes to the tip accordingly. And hopefully next month at the April Tech meeting, we will present the draft document to them for their review. And then would like to see or present this document at the May meeting for your review and hopefully have it adopted. Questions, comments?
All righty. Thanks, Doug. Now the NDOT 18-month letting list.
And I think I'm the fortunate one to give that report. It's a
Yes, you
three-pager
are.
this time.
It's what?
It's a three-pager this time, so we got a lot of information.
I thought you said 23 pages. I don't have that much battery left.
Wow. Okay, then I'd make it very quick. But anyway, looking at the first page, projects 1 through 7, those projects were let this past February. All are related to the Hoosier Heartland, and they were thin deck overlay projects. The specific information is on the third page. On projects 8 through 12, those are on a April letting, and you will see those projects on State Road 38, US 231, and I-65. We have one last project letting this fiscal year, and that is in May. Various locations, the traffic signal modernization, and then all of the rest of the projects are in the new fiscal year. On page 1, specifically point out project 20. That project's located on US 52, a bridge replacement over Indian Creek. It unfortunately slipped from a July letting to an October letting. And going to page 2, you'll see significant changes. As a matter of fact, projects 24 through 34 are all related to the next I-65 widening project. As you can see, the previous letting date was February 9th of 2022, and it actually has been moved up to November 17th of 2021. So exciting news. At the very bottom of the list, we have projects 36 and 37. Those two projects did slip 2 months apiece. And we have 2 new projects they are both on US 52, additional auxiliary acceleration and deceleration at various intersections on US 52 in the southern part of the county. So in a nutshell, that is a summary of the 18-month letting list. Are there any questions or concerns?
Questions for Doug? All righty. That's a really nice nutshell you got there, Doug.
Okay, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is other business. Any other business?
Nothing from me.
I would just like to note that things are winding down quickly, and it's sad to say that this is Sally's last policy board meeting.
Are you kidding me? How come we didn't get hats?
Yeah.
You should have given us hats, man.
But I did want to note to this group that we're working with Sally. There will be a community event recognizing Sally for her dedication to the community, probably late spring, early summer timeframe as things start to lessen up with the health emergency. So stay tuned for details on that, and we look forward to celebrating with Sally at a later date.
Wow, that's going to be an awesome party. I'll take a nap before it starts.
Bring your dancing shoes.
Yeah, that's a sight nobody wants to see.
At least your Batman costume.
Hey, maybe I'll give it to you as a parting gift. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you all for your dedication. I appreciate that.
Sally, we appreciate you. You know that. So, any other business? We'll move on to citizens' comment. Any citizens' comment?
Mayor, I don't know if you saw, but Ari is having a little problem, and she sent a chat deal that says we haven't had any public comments.
All right, very good. Okay, hearing none, I will go ahead and entertain a motion for adjournment.
Ron Campbell would like to move that we adjourn.
All right, our next meeting will be April 8th, 2021. So thank you all so very much. Have a good day and a great weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye.
Sally.
You're welcome. My pleasure.